Hi everyone, welcome to the Mustard Wand. In today's video, we'll deep dive into the world where the spirit of Olympics meets the high stakes arena of brand wars. We all know Adidas is a leading sportswear brand that has been the official sponsor of Olympics multiple times. But when the marketing rivalries collide on the global stage, historically, the opponents have stolen the spotlight. Not once, but back to back. First in 2008 Olympics and then again in 2012. These cases show that throwing money at marketing doesn't always guarantee visibility.
So Olympics are notorious for ambush marketing. Time and again, brands pretend to be associated with Olympics even though they haven't paid for it. I would have sympathized with Adidas had it been their first sponsorship or had it been the first time it was ambushed. But that is so not the case. Remember Beijing Olympics of 2008? Li Ning, one of the most celebrated athletes of China, ran around the inside perimeter of Bird's Nest Arena and was hoisted 75 feet up in the air by cables right before lighting the Olympic cauldron. 1 billion Chinese viewers knew he also has a sportswear brand called Li Ning, and outside of the country, the many hundreds of millions who did not know this learned it pretty quickly. This was the greatest free advertising in the history, mind you, for Li Ning and not for Adidas, who paid somewhere between 80 and 100 million for being the sponsor of Olympics. In cash and in extras, for example, uniforms of volunteers. I'll come back to it a little later, please bear with me. Okay, now, so what exactly are the rights given to the official sponsors of Olympics? They can advertise during the games, mention the games on their social media platforms, use the word Olympics and all the related terms and symbols that go with it, supply their goods and services on an exclusive basis within the Olympic venues. Now, let's see the campaign of Adidas of London Olympics, and the title was Take the Stage, which is very ironical because Adidas did anything but taking the stage. They've used the right imagery like British flag, Olympic rings, words like NS, who is the English star athlete, word 2012, Great Britain. Okay, let me ask you a question. So far in this video, whenever I refer to Olympics 2012, have I ever used the word Britain or Great Britain? No. The reason is, while doing the research, my brain naturally picked up London Olympics. You know why? Because the entire media, all the news articles, all the videos that I've gone through, the whole internet in fact, people refer to Olympics and associate them with the city's name and not that of countries.
It is really interesting to see that 2008 incident was just a warm up when compared to the Adidas marketing fiasco of the 2012 Olympics. Now let's see the Nike's campaign. Notice how they are technically not violating the Olympics norms of advertising. They played it just way too smart. Since they couldn't use the exact city name, they picked up various locations across the globe that had the word London in it. Technically, they never showed London of the UK. But the viewers still associated the entire imagery very, very strongly with the Olympics. Way stronger than Adidas.
The brand spent good 100 million euros on this sponsorship. Let's just see what else they did. Okay, so Adidas committed 1 million euros to the development of 50 Adizones, which were free outdoor gyms and sports areas in Britain alone. Now, they could have very well opened up these Adizones without sponsoring actual games. Nobody had stopped them. Okay, the next important thing that they paid for is supplying official sports gear for all the volunteers at games.
Oh my god!
That's a big one. I mean, kudos guys. Olympic broadcasters had a potential audience of 4.8 billion. And you know who these viewers were eyeing? Volunteers! Of course, who cares about the athletes? Usain Bolt, LeBron James, Allyson Felix, Kevin Durant, Shelley Price, Diana Taurasi, and so many other athletes whom the entire world was watching were wearing anything but Adidas. You know, out of the top 30 star athletes of Olympics, only 2 wore Adidas clothing, Ali Raisman and Sally Pearson. On the contrary, 25 wore Nike jersey. So Adidas either didn't do its due diligence or worse, didn't spend enough money to sponsor potential teams. The teams not sponsored by Nike, most of these athletes were seen wearing neon green shoes, stark contrasting color which is meant to be noticed. So basically, a rightful king of Olympics was outshone by other brands on and off the ground. Let's get back to why Adidas sponsored Olympics. It was to get ahead of Nike in terms of sales and visibility, right? Here's the scoreboard. It's not very good. For Adidas, the campaign was Take the Stage. For Nike, it was Find Your Greatness. And the spot for these campaigns within 1 week. For Adidas, it's third. For Nike, it's first. Tweets associating brand with Olympics. For Adidas, it's very low, 9.3k. For Nike, it's 16k, which is almost 190% of Adidas. The percentage of growth in followers on social media, it's, oh my god, it's 4% for Adidas and 11% for Nike. Revenue growth from 2011 to 2012 is, okay, it is good. For Adidas, it's 11.7% and for Nike, it's 16. Then, okay, now here's the problem. Revenue growth after Olympics, that is from 2012 to 2013, it dropped for Adidas. And for Nike, the sales have still grown by 8.5%. The reason I say Adidas failed, it's because it's not just because of the metrics. It's because it failed to learn its lesson and act smart. It should have tried to block Nike in its tactics, which were not really new even at that time. Nike's shoes taking all the attention is not a new phenomena. It has happened before. Ambush marketing is not a new phenomena. Sponsoring winning teams and athletes is not a new phenomena. Had Adidas focused on countering Nike in all these tactics, at least the share of mind for Adidas would have been better and long term. Lastly, Olympics more than anything is about the countries, it's about the players, the spirit of the games. And in terms of marketing, it's about your enemies taking your lunch money. So be prepared. I mean, there's no other choice. You have to counter your rivals and come out with flying colors and not just blatantly spend money and just hope that the ball will be in your court. It's not really how things work. So that was it from my side. I really hope that you like this analysis. And there's just one short clip after this. I found this reference very suitable to this whole situation. So remember, this red telephone is the sponsorship of Olympics. The guy in red kurta, we can think of him as somebody who was a key decision maker from Adidas for this sponsorship. Enjoy. Bye bye. Have a nice day.
इतने पैसे खर्चे करके आपने नंबर तो वही रखा, ये मॉडल तो बदलो।
फोन को हाथ लाओ, रख रख।